Hi, my name's Gina Hansen, and this is my Marp presentation on collaborative learning. I'm here to present collaborative learning and specifically how to use it in your classroom with technology. If you have any questions at all at the end of the presentation, please feel free to email me at jhansen17@apu.edu. So firstly, what is collaborative learning? The National Institute for Science Education defines collaborative learning as an educational approach to teaching and learning that involves groups of students working together to solve a problem, complete a task, or create a product. Cornell University defines collaborative learning as being based on the view that knowledge is a social construct. So it's the idea that students are working together to solve a problem. It's a social construct. They're talking to each other. They're working together, things like that. It's not just the teacher feeding them the information. It's them working together to find the answer or working together to create a product. Collaborative activities are most often based on 4 principles. Number 1, the learner or student is the primary focus of instruction. The student is the primary focus, not the teacher. Number 2, interaction and doing are of primary importance. The students need to be interacting with the material. They need to be doing something with it, not just taking it in, but doing something once they have it. Number 3, working in groups is an important mode of learning. And number 4, structured approaches to developing solutions to real-world problems should be incorporated into learning. So this is a new piece in education that's getting implemented more and more, which is the real world tie-in. How does what we're learning relate to the real world? How can you use it outside of school? And also, what issues can we work together to solve in our real world from what we've learned? So you might say, I've been doing collaboration and group work in my classroom for years. What's new about it? So I'm here today to tell you that there are many new technologies that you can implement into your group work. So Mr. Knudsen in his Edutopia article says, research supports what we probably already knew about student collaboration. It's integral to student learning. We know that collaboration helps students build their interpersonal and social and emotional skills. We know that students don't learn facts in a vacuum. Social learning helps them build a more meaningful understanding to the world. So this idea of collaborative learning helps them build their interpersonal and social and emotional skills, which are arguably just as important, if not more important, than the skill of writing an essay or reciting facts or solving a math problem. They need to learn how to have a conversation. They need to learn how to work together. They need to learn how to pick up on social cues that help them see how people are feeling. And the only way that they can achieve that is through collaboration. It's integral to their learning. They're not just learning facts in a vacuum. They're getting a more meaningful education that helps them understand their world. So you might say, group work, what if my students lose focus? What if they don't really learn what I need them to? So students often struggle with group work for a couple of different reasons. Number 1, they have trouble focusing in a group. Maybe they're friends in that group and their friends distracting them. Maybe someone they don't get along with at all is in that group and they're not sure how to work together with that person to achieve a common goal. Maybe they're just a shy student who doesn't do well with working with other students in general. Well, this is helping them to work on those things. The other issue is number 2, they don't understand their individual roles within a group and have a hard time figuring out who's doing what and how it's all going to get done. We've all been a part of that group project where we think we have the group roles clearly defined, but it ends up that one person ends up doing more work at the end than the others because someone didn't understand what their role was or didn't fulfill that role. So the technologies that I'm going to mention really help define those roles within the group, but the teacher also needs to work on making sure that they clearly define those roles for each student in the group. So an Edutopia article on using technology in the classroom specifically for collaborative learning highlighted 3 different really cool tools for student collaboration: Mural, MindMeister, and Stormboard. Mural allows kids to work together on projects in class or remotely. Students can watch their boards grow as members add text, videos, and images, and they can even revise items during the brainstorming process, and it kind of looks like they're moving Post-its around. So I'm going to go to Mural's website and just kind of show you what that looks like. You can see how they look like Post-its. They move around, they share, they increase their collaboration, improve engagement, all kinds of things. So I'm just going to show you a short clip from Mural's intro video on how it works.
How might we make remote collaboration work? Setting a time to work together in person across time zones, continents, and dozens of calendars makes collaborating even harder. So what can you do? Easy. Stop digitizing. Go digital first with Mural. Mural is a collaborative, simple, real-time whiteboard. Share notes, be creative, stay productive.
So I'm going to pause it there just for the sake of time, but you can see how they really look like Post-its that the students are able to move around and manipulate and add to. It's really cool. Secondly is MindMeister, which is where students can browse through pre-made templates or build their own map by choosing a main theme and building nodes within notes, images, attachments, and so on. They can also contain team assignments, due dates, and email reminders so groups can easily visualize what they're working on and when it's due. So you can sign in for free using Google, and it does mind mapping, team collaboration, gives stunning presentation outlines that they can just edit, and it also can simplify product management, and it focuses on brainstorming, planning, note-taking, and meeting management. So students might not need meeting management too much at the elementary or middle school age, but they definitely need brainstorming, planning, and note-taking. So that's a really cool way for them to do that. And then third is Stormboard, which is where students can create and add stickies to a virtual whiteboard where group members can comment and vote. So it's kind of similar to Mural, but it has more of a student collaboration aspect because they can vote and say which one they like, which one they didn't like, why not, and things like that. So it's another really cool aspect that they can use. It also gives them a little more creativity to edit stickies a little bit more and add to them a bit more. So those are just three, but Common Sense Education actually put out a website, their top 29 student collaboration websites. So all 29 are very cool, but I just chose 4 that I liked a lot to highlight. So the first one is Peer Grade, which is a feedback tool with great rubrics that work best for older students. So you can put in a rubric and then you can let the students kind of grade each other on the assignment or grade them in small groups. And then you can see how they did, and you can of course change things, but it's a really cool way for them to collaborate with each other that way. Then there's Google Hangouts, which isn't necessarily new, but Google Hangouts has lots of cool things where sometimes you can take virtual field trips and things like that. And then also, if you wanted your class to collaborate with another class from somewhere across America or across the world, you could meet together using Google Hangouts. And a lot of teachers do that, and it's very, very cool. There's also GroupMaker, which improves classroom management and encourages collaborative work because it creates the groups for you. And it says, bottom line, don't be deceived by the design. Multiple tools lie within this handy classroom management tool. So you as a teacher can kind of observe the students working in the groups, make sure everybody's doing their part and things like that. So that's really cool. And then lastly is Drop for School, Create, Learn, and Collaborate. This is really a blank canvas that helps kids express themselves creatively. It really truly is a blank canvas that more creative kids can just design onto and digitally add to, and it's very cool. And it says this handy tool encourages collaboration and creative expression and makes sharing assignments and giving feedback a snap for teachers. So those are just 4 of the 29 really, really cool websites. So in conclusion, collaborative learning is essential for student success. All data points to students learning more and having better retention if they're able to interact with the material themselves. One of the best ways to get students collaborating is to use the diverse tech offered in this present age. We know that students need this collaboration piece to be successful. We know that they retain it better if they can explain it to somebody else. And we know that they love being on the computer. They love video games. They love tech. So if we just combine those two things, then aren't we getting them the best possible lesson that we can and getting them to interact with the material in the best ways that we can? And that's our job as educators. So lastly, I just have my references page, which has all the articles I mentioned, as well as some of the websites for those technologies I mentioned. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I hope you learned something, and please don't hesitate to email me if you have any further questions. Thank you so much for watching.